Welcome to Yogaroo Online. And in this practice, we're going to work on focusing on the legs and building strong legs, which will help you feel reactive and supported and stable in your everyday life. And how we're going to do that will be through working with movement, slow movement, and focusing on our transitions through this practice, and really focusing on grounding down into those 3 points of contact. And I'll go through this again with you when we get up to our standing position: the big toe mound, the little toe mound, and the center of the heel. So this big toe mound here, little toe mound, and the center of the heel. And just thinking of our feet as these two supportive triangles, and that helps you to kind of forgive yourself for your wobbles, because we know triangles are not the most symmetrical way to support yourself. So but that makes you more able to react to things as well. The fact that they are there is a lot of proprioception in the whole way we move. Okay, so we'll start on all fours and go through a few rounds of cat-cow to start warming up the spine and the hips and everything connecting to the legs. So let's inhale here, and the belly softens down towards the ground. The gaze comes slightly forward, and then exhale, lifting your spine up towards the ceiling. And inhale, softening the belly down towards the ground. Gaze comes forward. Maybe this time we want to press our hands into the ground and drag them towards our feet, our knees there. And exhale, press into your hands and reach them away from you without moving them. You're just pressing them away from you. And then inhale, belly softens down towards the ground. Let's work on the shoulders here. So drawing our shoulders back towards our hips here. And then exhale, lifting the spine up towards the ceiling, feeling the shoulder blades spread across our back here. Do one more round. Inhale, belly softens down towards the ground. The gaze comes forward. And exhale, lifting the spine up towards the ceiling. Okay, we're going to do a little bit of leg waking up here on all fours. So bring the knees a little bit closer together, maybe not quite touching, but we're just going to, for balance while we reach a leg away. We're going to inhale, reach that right leg away from you with the toes tucked under, and press the heel away. Have a little micro bend in the knee there. Make sure that you're not hyperextending through the joint. This is our inhale, and then simple as exhale, we're going to lift that right leg off the ground. Have a little look under you. Make sure you've kept your hips nice and squared to the mat, and hug that left hip in towards the midline here. Don't let that left hip shoot out to the side. And then we're going to flow through it. So inhale, the foot comes down to the ground, press the heel away. And then exhale, lift that leg up any amount. It doesn't have to come to hip height, just to the point where you feel the back of that leg waking up, and definitely no higher than hip height, because then we bring it into a back bend. Then one more round. Inhale, brings the foot down to the ground, press the heel away, and then exhale, lift that leg up, press out through the heel, flex the foot strongly here, feel that leg waking up, check underneath, make sure those hips are level, hug that left hip in towards the midline again. Keep this exactly where it is. This is our inhale now, and then exhale really slowly, like you are moving the leg through toppy. Bring the leg or the foot to press up towards the ceiling. So the only thing that's moving is the lower leg there. We're bending the foot until the foot presses up towards the ceiling. And then inhale, everything stays exactly where it is. Hug that left hip in towards the midline, hips perfectly aligned with each other. And then exhale, bend that right knee just until the foot is facing up towards the ceiling. Press into both hands here. Make sure you keep your shoulders nice and strong. And then inhale, straighten the leg one more time, hug that left hip into the midline, and then exhale, bend that right knee. Feel that leg really waking up here now. And then bring that right leg down. We'll do the same thing on the second side. Okay. So your inhale, you're going to reach that left leg away from you now. Press out through the heel. And then exhale, we're going to lift that left leg up there. Have a little look underneath you. Make sure those hips are perfectly in line with each other. Hug that right hip in towards midline. It wants to shoot out to the side. Make sure your shoulders are nice and broad here. And the shoulder blades are kind of drawing towards each other to keep the upper body nice and strong. And then exhale, bring that foot down or no, sorry, exhale, we're lifting it up, and inhale, bring the foot down, press the heel away, and exhale, lifting that left leg up, remembering it doesn't have to come all the way to hip height, and we definitely don't want it higher than hip height. Inhale last time, bring the toes just to touch the ground until you can press the heels away, and exhale, lift that left leg up. Now this is our inhale, moving on to our next one. Have another check underneath you, make sure those hips are level. My right hip wants to drift out to the side, and I'm tucking it back in towards the midline. Inhale here, and then exhale. Nothing moves except that lower leg until the foot reaches up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, bring that, or inhale, bring the leg back down again. And exhale, bend the knee, nothing else changes, foot faces towards the ceiling. And inhale last time, brings the foot down just to hip height or lower if that's where you started. And then exhale, bend that knee until the foot faces up towards the ceiling. Squeeze into the back of that hip there now, back of that leg strong. And then exhale, bringing that left leg down to the ground. And already we've really found our strong legs. Let's come all the way down to the ground now. And just make a little pillow with your hands and place your forehead on your hands there. I'm going to keep my head up. I just don't want to interfere with the mic quality there. Okay, so you're going to relax your head down on your forearms, and you're going to bring the legs hip distance apart, just a little bit of space between. So have a look behind you, maybe, just to make sure that they're not too close together. Okay, so we're just going to lift the leg up on our inhale here with the foot flexed. So inhale, lift the leg up, and then exhale, bringing it down to touch the ground. Inhale, lifts the leg up, and exhale, brings it down. Last time, inhale, lifts the leg up, and it might not come up that high, and that's okay. See, can you clear the upper leg off the ground there? And exhale, brings it down. So for those ones, the knee was completely straight. For the next round, we're going to inhale, lift the leg up, and then exhale, keeping the foot really flexed. We're going to bend the knees. So the same as we did the last time now, we're going to inhale, lengthen the leg away, keep the whole leg up, and exhale, bend the knee any amount. Last time, inhale, reach the leg away, press out through the heel, and exhale, bend the knee and press the foot up towards the ceiling. Then bring that whole leg down now. Maybe just rock it from side to side a little bit. And we'll start the same thing on the left-hand side. So we start off with the foot flexed, and we're going to inhale, lift the leg up, squeeze into the back of that hip there, and exhale to bring it back down again. Inhale to lift it up, press the heel away, and exhale to lift, bring it down again. Inhale to lift it up, press, and exhale to bring it down. Then for the next round, we're going to inhale to lift it up. Really flex the foot there strongly. It just helps you to find particularly the strong muscles at the top of the leg there. You're connecting all the muscles together. This is our inhale with the leg hovering, and hopefully your upper thigh you've managed to clear the floor. And then exhale, we're going to bend the knee any amount. Okay, so flexing the knee there. Inhale, reaching the leg away. And exhale, bending. Inhale, reaching it away. And exhale, bending. Inhale to reach the leg away. And exhale, bring both legs down now. And maybe just rolling out both legs, just letting the back of the heels there windscreen from left to right. Hands either side of your chest there. And then coming up to all fours. Nice and gently now, because we've been working through the back of the hips there. Let's do a really small few rounds of cat-cow. So just your smallest cat-cow, and maybe it grows a little bit as those little bits of tension that we have created at the back of our hips from working them strongly. So it's good tension, just dissipates a little bit. So gentle cat-cows, and maybe getting a little bit more. And until you move through any little bits of tension there. Maybe you want to do some figure eights with the hips, can be nice as well. So just swooshing the hips back from left to right, coming diagonal, and then swooshing through the front. So it's drawing a figure 8 with your belly button. Some people use belly button as an indication, as drawing a figure 8 on your mat there with your belly button. Okay, and then just coming up onto the fingertips, let's step the right leg forward, come up onto the ball of the left foot, lift that left knee, step left leg forward and folding down. Inhale, press into your feet, reach the arms up high, and exhale, hands down the midline in prayer position. Okay, we'll just do a little bit of Pada Bandha, so your root lock awareness. We're going to press into our feet. So first we're going to lift all 10 toes off the ground, spread them nice and wide and place them down one at a time. So really finding your foundation here, and think of the kind of disproportionate size between the actual the mass that these two little triangles are actually carrying. So try to make your foundation, your feet, as wide as possible here. Now find that little toe mound, or the big toe mound, the little toe mound, and the center at the back of the heel. Press down equally into all three of them. And as you press down into them, remembering not to forget about the center at the back of the heel, and that'll stop you from clawing the ground a little bit too much with your feet there. Feel the energy and the muscle reaction coming all the way up your legs, through the inner ankles to the upper thighs there, your quads. Stack your hip bones over your ankles, which are stacked over your knees, and then your shoulders over your hips. So nice, strong Tadasana here. Let the arms hang nice, gently, a little bit of external rotation in the arms there. Gazing gently forward, maybe the eyes gently closed. And remembering to continue that line of energy all the way up to the tip of the crown. And it's like you've got a little string coming out of the top of your head that's drawing you up towards the sky there as you press strongly into the ground. And it's this relationship between the pressing, the connection to the ground, and this lifting up through the upper body that helps with your full, beautiful curves and the alignment of your spine there. Okay, we're going to start with some chair positions, just to get those legs nice and awake again. So inhale, reach the arms up high, and then exhale, bend the knees and bring your hands down to your knees there. So press the palms of your hands into your knees. Broaden through the collarbones, reach those shoulders back towards the back of your hips there. And then you're going to press all your weight into your right foot, and then just lift the left heel off the ground here. Press, press, press into the right foot. And then you're going to press all your weight into your left foot and lift the right heel off the ground here. Okay, and then we're going to do it with the breath now. We're going to inhale, arms up to shoulder height, press all your weight into your right foot, lift the left heel off the ground. And then we're going to bring all the weight into the left foot and lift the right heel off the ground. So this is your inhale, and then the foot comes down for the exhale. So let's do a few rounds of them. And you can bring your hands down to your knees there if you want to keep it out of the shoulders. But if your shoulders feeling nice and strong and you want to keep your chest nice and open, just reach the arms forward, draw the shoulder blades on your back there. Okay, right side, press into the right heel, lift the left heel off the ground, inhaling here. Exhale, bring that left heel down. Inhaling, lift the right heel up, press into your left heel. And we'll do one more of them. So press into your right heel on your inhale, lift the left heel. Let the hips come down now, let the legs do the work. Bring that left heel down, exhale, lift the right heel. Press into your left foot. And then inhale, press into both feet, reach the arms up high. And exhale, just coming into our chair pose. Take an inhale here, and then exhale, reach the arms back and step that left foot back so the right leg stays forward there, coming into our arrowhead. Make sure that the feet are nice and wide, hip or wider on your mat there, to make sure that you've got good balance when we come up to standing. Okay, so we're going to inhale, reach the arms up and straighten that front leg. And then exhale, we're going to sweep the arms back and find our way into arrowhead again. Inhale, press into that, really actively press into that right foot as you straighten the leg nice and slowly. And exhale, bend the knee and reach the arms back again. And then our last time, we're going to do it on the counts of 4 to 6. So inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1, straightening that front leg all the way. And exhale for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so nice slow movement and really press into the ground, wake up those legs. The slower you move, the more muscle activity you'll get in the legs there. Okay, so for the next one, we're going to start off with that right leg straight and the left leg bent, arms in prayer position here. So this is our inhale, and then we're going to swap it over. We're going to bend our front knee, our right knee, and straighten our back leg. So we're just going to swap from one to the other. So our inhale is left leg bent, right leg straight, a tricky pose to hold. And then exhale, right leg bent, left leg straight, okay? And let's swap from those two. Inhaling, swapping front leg straight, exhaling, front leg bent. Inhaling, back leg bent, exhaling, back leg straight. We'll do one more round. We'll do it with our breath here now. So inhaling for 4, 3, 2, 1. Pausing here. Exhaling for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, inhale, reach the arms up high again, front knee bent. Exhale, sweep the arms back into our arrowhead. And then inhale, you're going to simply step back, right leg forward, hands in prayer position, find our way into chair pose. And then exhale, folding down. Inhale, press into your feet, reach the arms up high. And exhale, hands down the midline in prayer position. Okay, let's keep moving. Inhale, reach the arms up high. And exhale, making our way into chair pose again. Hug those outer hips towards midline. Squeeze to the back of your hips. Press into those 3 points of contact with the ground. Big toe mound, little toe mound, center the back of the heel. Take one more inhale here. And then exhale, sweep the arms back. Step that right leg back. Now find your way into arrowhead. Make sure your legs are nice and wide. Hip are wider on your mat there. And then we're going to inhale, straighten that front leg, reach the arms up high. So both legs straight for this one. And then our exhale, we're going to sweep the arms back and find our way into arrowhead, and the front leg bends here. Okay, so that's our little flow. We're going to go through it 3 times, and then we're going to do it with the breath. So inhale, straighten the front leg, reach the arms up high, and really press into those 3 points of contact with your left foot and control the movement. Exhale, sweep the arms back, find our way into arrowhead. Last time, and then we'll do the breath. So inhale, really slowly reach the arms up high, back leg stays straight. And then exhale, reach the arms forward and back, find our way into arrowhead. Let's do it with the breath now. So 4 in and 6 out. So inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1, and exhale for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, next starting position is front leg bent, so left leg bent and right leg, front leg straight and right leg bent. Okay, so let's pause here. Strong pose for the legs. Inhale here and then just swap it. So right leg bent, left leg bends and right leg straight. Okay, and then let's flow through those two. Left leg straight, right leg bent on your inhale. Exhale, left leg bent, right leg straight. Inhale, left leg straight, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, left leg bent. One more round. Inhale, right leg bent, push the weight back. Exhale, right leg straight. Now let's do it our final one with our breath. So inhale for 4, press into that 3, 4 into that foot, 2, 1, and then exhale for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, reach the arms up high. Exhale, sweep the arms behind you. Stay long through the spine here, like you're trying to reach the spine up to the corner of your room. And then step that right leg forward, find your way into chair pose. Let the hips dip down, hug those outer hips towards the midline. And exhale, folding down. Keep the legs bent. Inhale, reach the arms up high. And exhale, hands down the midline in prayer position. Okay, so we'll move it on to our second flow now. How are we doing for time? Great. So for this one, we're going to do a little bit of activation of the legs through forward folding. So I'd suggest, well, for me, definitely I need to bend the knees as I come in and out of it. So we're kind of lengthening into the back of the hips there. You might have lengthier hamstrings than me, so you might find that you don't need to bend your knees, but I'll be demoing it with bent knees and you find what suits for you. Okay, so we're going to inhale, reach the arms up high, and then exhale, hands down the midline, hands to the knees there. Okay, so I have a little micro bend in my knees here. You can have your legs straight, and sometimes it kind of helps to play around with the width of your legs as well. Basic rule is that the narrower the legs are, the harder it is to fold down over the legs for the hamstrings and the back of the hips there. So I'm going to keep my hip distance here. So inhale, press into your knees, reach the chest forward and almost up. Again, it's that action, like you're rolling your shoulders back towards the back of your hips there. So shoulders, they're trying to reach the back of the hips. And then exhale, just gently folding down. So just letting the whole spine roll here and trying to tip the pelvis forward with it rather than back. Let's come up halfway again. So inhale, reach the chest forward, and exhale, folding down. And last time, inhale, halfway, press the hands into the knees, reach the chest forward, and exhale, rolling the spine down. Inhale, press into your feet, reach the arms up high, and exhale, we're going to find our way into our chair, start our second flow now. Inhale here. And exhale, step that left leg back, find our way into arrowhead. Inhale, reach the arms up high. And then exhale, we're going to open the hips out to the side and find our way into warrior. Okay, so let's pause here for a few moments in our warrior and find our nice strong legs. So you can have a look at your feet and make sure that your front heel intersects the center of that back foot there. If your balance isn't with you today, a way to get around that is to actually just open your legs out a little bit. So, you know, strictly speaking, the formal pose is where that front heel intersects the center of that back arch, but opening it up a little bit wider will give you more space in your mat to balance, okay? So another little alignment cue is to make sure that this front kneel doesn't overshoot that front ankle. That will put too much pressure into the front of that heel, or front of that knee there. So, and then just dipping the hips down any amount, you know, that thigh does not have to be parallel to the ground. It's any amount that your hips feel they can keep nice alignment. So ideally, if we have our fingertips on our hip bones, we want them to be in the same, you know, in the same level as each other. Definitely this left hip will be a little bit further forward than the right hip, but where our intention is moving towards the side of our mat, but we're not trying to force it because that will push this left knee or this right knee in. Okay, so just wherever is feeling comfortable for your hips with the intention of being towards the side of the mat rather than facing the front of the mat. Let's add our arms into it. And keep them nice and soft. We're working on our legs today. And if the arms start to fatigue, just bring them down to your hips there. Press strongly into that front foot now, particularly into the big toe mound of the right foot. Notice when you press into that big toe mound of the right foot, the whole outer side, particularly of this right leg, wakes up, particularly that outer glute there. And you might feel it a little bit in the back of the quads there. Press into that left foot as well and squeeze the big toe mound again, squeeze into the back of that left leg there. Okay, now keep the legs exactly where they are. It's like they don't even know you're about to go into reverse warrior. Okay, hips stay exactly where they are because they're inclined to pop up for warrior and then reverse. So front palm, right palm to face up towards the ceiling, and reach that right arm up and over as the left arm comes down towards the left leg to anywhere on the left leg, the upper thigh or down onto that calf there. and breathe. So this is our inhale, but we're going to continue breathing here. And we're going to keep those legs nice and strong. Okay, and then back to our warrior. And we're just going to come back then to the front of our mat, flipping the feet around and on an inhale to our high lunge here. And then we're going to exhale into our arrowhead. And inhale, step that left leg forward, find our way into chair pose. Exhale, folding down. And inhale, reach the arms up high again. And exhale, hands down the midline in prayer position. Okay, we're going to do the same thing on the second side, pausing in our warrior, checking our foundation, and really finding the strength of our legs before we flow with the breath. Inhale, reach the arms up high. And exhale, hands down the midline, actually not hands down the midline, arms reaching forward, find our way into chair pose. Inhale here, and then exhale, this time you're stepping your right leg back, reaching the arms back and finding your way into arrowhead. And then we're going to bring ourselves into warrior. So we're going to ground that right foot down, start to open that right hip out to side now. If this is a nice platform for you, or do you want to just inch that left leg to the right a little bit so that your feet are aligned with each other? Okay, you might need to inch that right leg forward a little bit, bending the knee, and then inhale to come up into your warrior. Now let's check in with our legs again now. Press strongly into that front foot, the big toe mound of the front foot. Find the back of that hip there and maybe the upper thigh there. Strong legs. Then press strongly into that right foot here. Big toe mound. See, can you find that inner arch that wants to collapse? Feel the strength of that right leg. Let's just gently and kind of, subtly find our way into reverse. So left palm to face up towards the ceiling. And then we inhale into reverse, bringing that right hand down, either to the upper thigh or to the calf muscle, and reaching the left arm up and overhead there. And this is our inhale, but continue breathing. Okay, and then we're going to bring our way back into warrior. We're going to pivot the feet around and find our way into high lunge. And then exhale, step forward into our chair pose. And folding down. Inhale, press into your feet, reach the arms up high. And exhale, hands down the midline in prayer position. Okay, we're going to do the same flow, but this time we're going to do it with the breath. So it's a short little flow. We're doing chair, we're stepping back, warrior, reverse, warrior, stepping forward, chair. Okay, and of course, I'll guide you through it and I'll guide you with the breath as well. Inhale, reach the arms up high. And then exhale, reach the arms forward and find your way into chair. Press into those 3 points of contact. Make sure those legs are nice and awake now. Inhale here, and then exhale, sweep the arms back, find our way into arrowhead. Legs nice and wide there. Inhale, reach the arms up high. And then exhale, let's just ground that left foot where it is. We won't worry too much about inching the foot over and find our way. When we're flowing, it's not as important that the feet are exactly in one line if you drew a chalk mark on your mat. So this is our exhale into our warrior. Inhale into reverse and exhale to warrior again. Inhale, pivot the feet to the front of your mat, reach the arms up high, and exhale, reach the arms back, finding arrowhead. Inhale, step that left leg forward, coming into our chair pose, and exhale, folding down. Inhale, press into your feet, reach the arms up high, and exhale, hands down the midline in prayer position. Okay, we'll go straight to the other side flowing with the breath. So inhale, reach the arms up high, and exhale, arms reach forward, bend the knees, find our way into our chair pose. Inhale here, exhale, keep the knee low, step that right leg back, find our way into arrowhead. Inhale, find our way into a high lunge, and then exhale. Actually, that's the better transition. Exhale our way into our warrior. Inhale to reverse, and exhale into warrior again. Inhale, swing that right arm up, pivot the foot around, find our way into high lunge. And exhale, reach the arms back into arrowhead. Inhale, steps that right leg forward, arms shoulder height. And exhale, folding down. Inhale, press into your feet, reach the arms up high. And exhale, hands down the midline in prayer position. Okay, one more little flow to go through. And we're going to come into Goddess and just work with the legs a little bit more. It's just such a fabulous pose for the legs. So inhale, reach the arms up high. And exhale, bend the knees and find our way into chair pose. Inhale here. And exhale, step that left leg back, find our way into arrowhead. And now this time we're going to ground that left foot. So listen carefully. You're going to ground that left foot, open the hips to the side of the mat. Just start to drape that right leg down over our left leg over the left thigh and sweep the right arm up and over, and we sneak our way into our reverse warrior. This is our inhale. Exhale, pivot both feet round to the side of your mat, hands in prayer position, knees bent, and we find our way in Goddess pose. Okay, let's take a pause here and find the strength of our legs in Goddess pose. So let those hips be really heavy now on your mat. See, can you make your upper body nice and upright here? Bring the fingertips onto those hip bones there and lift them up and back. Okay, this is the kind of relationship we're playing around with here. The space between that hip bone and the front of that thigh there. And we're trying to open that up. So we're lengthening through the whole spine. Press into your feet. Let's pour all our weight into our right foot. So I'm not going to mirror you now. I'm pouring all my weight into my right foot, and I'm going to lift the left heel off the ground. Keep the spine nice and upright. Bring the left heel down, pour all the weight into the left foot, and lift the right heel off the ground. Okay, and we'll go through that with the breath. Keep the hips as low as you can. They're just swinging from side to side. They're not coming up and down. So they're swinging from side to side. So we're going to inhale, lift left heel, and exhale to bring it down. Inhale, lift right heel, and exhale to bring it down. One more full round. Inhale, left heel, exhale, bring it down. Inhale, right heel, and exhale, bring it down. Okay, and now this time we're going to straighten both legs. Keep the heels down. Inhale, reach the arms up high, straighten both legs. And exhale, hands down the midline in prayer position. Squeeze into the back of the hips there. Come down nice and low. Inhale, sweep the arms up high. And exhale, hands down the midline in prayer position. We're going to do two more, and we're going to do it with the breath now. Inhale, straighten the legs for 4, 3, 2, 1. And then exhale for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. One more of them. Inhale, reach the arms up, straighten the legs for 4, 3, 2, 1. And exhale for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent. Okay, and then inhale to come up. We're going to pivot the feet around to the front of the mat. Find our way into arrowhead. This is our exhale. And we're going to inhale, step that left leg forward, folding down, hands in prayer position for this one. Exhale, folding down all the way. Inhale, press into your feet, reach the arms up high. And exhale, hands down the midline in prayer position. Okay, we'll do the same thing on the second side. We'll do something maybe different with the legs again. Inhale, reach the arms up high. And exhale into our chair pose. Press into the feet now. Inhale here and exhale, stepping that right leg back, finding our way into arrowhead. Then we're going to ground that right foot now. And on our inhale, sweep the left arm up and over to find our way into reverse warrior. And for our exhale, pivot both feet around to kind of 45 degrees to the side of your mat, hips to the side of your mat, hands in prayer position. Find your way into Goddess again. Okay, so let's just try and bring the hips down nice and low here. And this time, see, can you lift? You're going to swing your hips over to the right side and lift the left balls of the foot off the ground. Okay, so we're reversing it now. And then you're going to just swap and move the hips to the left side and lift the right balls of the foot off the ground. So you're just balancing on the heels. And then we'll do that with the breath, remembering to stay up nice and tall through the spine. So hips are swinging over to the right side, bending the right knee even more, and lift the left toes off the ground. Bring the hips over to the left side and bring the right toes off the ground. This is our inhale. Exhale to bring everything down. Inhale, left toes lift. Exhale to bring everything down. Inhale, right toes hip lift. Exhale to bring everything down. Inhale, left toes hip lift. Exhale, bring everything down. Inhale, right toes lift. Okay, and now what we're going to try and do, one last little challenge, is we're going to try and lift the leg, okay? And we'll do that on our exhale. So inhale here and exhale, place both hands on your right foot and lift that left leg any amount. So we'll do a little bit of momentum with that. Inhale to the center, hands to the left knee, and see, can you lift that right leg any amount, okay? So you're kind of, it's a little bit of strength, but it's more about, you know, shifting your center of gravity over the leg that you're reaching to give you a little bit of lift. Now, if you can't lift the leg, just squeeze into the back of the hip and have the intention of lifting the leg, okay, and come up into the ball of the foot. The leg doesn't have to lift. We'll do a few rounds of that, okay? Pour all your weight onto your right knee and lift the left leg off the ground. Then pour all your weight onto your left leg, lift the right leg off the ground. Let's try to do it with the breath. So inhale to go through center and exhale to lift. Inhale to go through center, keep the hips low, and exhale to lift. Inhale through center and exhale to lift. Inhale through center and exhale to lift. And then coming back through center again, you're going to pivot the feet around to face the front of your mat again. So the left leg is forward, find your way into arrowhead. On your exhale, step that right leg forward, come into our chair pose. This is our inhale. Exhale, folding down. Inhale, press into your feet, reach the arms up high. And exhale, hands down the midline in prayer position. And then we now are very ready to come to our restorative part of our practice. Okay, so let's come down to the ground. So inhale, reach the arms up high. And exhale, press the hands together, folding all the way down. Let's just bring the hands down to the ground, bring the right knee down and bring the left knee down. Swing the legs forward and find your way onto your back here. Okay, let's start off with a nice star stretch to stretch through everything. So reach the arms overhead and have them in a lovely diagonal in a star shape. And reach through your left fingertips and your right toes, a lovely diagonal stretch through the body. Find that point, if you can, maybe somewhere around the belly button where the direction change happens. So the stretching away from the fingertips to the stretching away from the toes. And then let that just creep back to center and stretch through the right fingertips and the left toes here, diagonal stretch. See, can you find the sense of where that stretch changes direction, somewhere around the belly? And then let that just come back to center again. Let's stretch through everything. So toes, both toes stretch away, both fingertips stretch away. Let's take a big inhale here. And then exhale, let everything come back to center. Bring the arms down and gently bring the legs into towards your chest. Now you can just hug onto the knees with your hands, or you can hug your knees, just depending on how dramatic that feels on your lower back to go from that star shape to a curled position. I'm just going to keep my hands on my knees there and just gently hug them in until I feel a nice little stretch at the back of my hips there and the back of my tops of my legs maybe. Okay, and then bringing the legs down and gently bring yourself up to a seated position. We'll get ready to come into our first restorative pose. Okay, so we've done lots of work with the legs. So I thought what we might do is kind of stretch out definitely the front of the hips, but then a little bit in the front of the thighs there with a hip flexor stretch. So I recommend you fold your blanket in 4 and then roll it up again. And I'd do it kind of reasonably loose because it doesn't take much of a lift to feel the stretch in the front of the quads and the front of the hips there. Have it in the center of your blanket there, or of your mat there, and just bring the back of your hips kind of up against it. So what we're looking for is we're going to be stretching out the front of the hip flexors here, and we want to get a little bit of a stretch at the tops of the legs too. So where you want the blanket to be is right underneath the area that you want to stretch. So just bring the back of your hips up on top of your blanket there, and stretch the legs away. So before you even bring your upper body down to the ground, check that it's in the correct position. So you can see there, it's just right under my hip crease. You can see it's right under my hip crease there. I'm going to lengthen my legs away. I'm going to gently come down, because you want to make sure that if you've made your blanket too high, that you can, come back up and adjust it. So listen to your body and make sure that it's happy with the height that you've given it. Come down to your forearms first, and then gently come down onto your back there. And it might indeed, and that's just about right for me, but you might come down and find that you're not feeling enough of the stretch. So if that's the case, you roll the blanket in, or you open your blanket up, you roll it, you fold it lengthways again and roll it up so that you've got like a narrower blanket. Okay, so this feels good for me, because I am remembering always that my restorative practice is about gentle openings, not big stretches, because the nervous system is trying to balance itself out here, and it's not looking for a big sensation. It's looking for a gentle sensation so it can tap into the parasympathetic nervous system, which is our rest and restore. It's our little bit of exchange with energy output and in energy input. Okay, so make sure that you haven't got too much of an overarch in your back there. So maybe you need to draw those hip bones back towards the upper part of your body a little bit to lower the amount of curve in your back there. And the arms can just be either draped on top of the blanket there or a little bit wider on the ground, whatever feels comfortable. Legs are kind of, they're a little bit hanging there, so make sure that you have the legs or the feet in a nice position that they can feel comfortable. So if the legs straight with the toes facing up towards the ceiling, it just means that you're using too much energy in your legs. Just let the toes drop out to the side. And feel that little bit of stretch at the front of the hip bones and a little bit on the top of the legs there as well. And you might even feel a slight stretch, a little stretch on the inner groin. And really finding your breath here now, our gateway to our relaxation, the all-important breath, and particularly that exhale. It's the exhale that taps into the vagus nerve, which is the main nerve of the rest and restore response. Now scanning through your body again, making sure everything is still comfortable. And just notice, has the pose got intense anywhere on your body? And if it has, then, adjust. Flatten the blanket, maybe take it out, maybe decide yourself that you've had enough of this pose. And we'll all come out of the pose now. So gently bending the knees up, lifting the hips up just enough to be able to slide that blanket out to the side. And then let's come to our star shape again with just the legs this time. So the legs out nice and wide, and windscreen the legs from side to side. So that's just rolling on the back of the heel from side to side. And maybe the hips follow a little bit. Okay, and that's nice at the back of the legs there, or the back of the calves. And then let's bring it into the hips. So bend the knees now, bring the arms a little bit wider for space with the legs. Have the feet mat distance apart, and then just windscreen the legs from side to side. So a little bit less about the legs and a bit more about those glutes, which we definitely used a lot during a leg practice. And then the next time you find your legs on the right-hand side, follow it around with your upper body and gently find your way into a seated position. Okay, so for our next one, we're going to do a bit of architecture with all our props. And we are going to make a nice stack. So what we're going to do is a lot of the restorative poses is about the upper body, but this one is a lovely one for the lower body. So we're going to make like a kind of, I actually think the pose is called Stonehenge. We're going to make a structure where we're going to have both of our bricks up here. Now you can have them on the mid height if you want to. I'm going to try go for the higher height, and mid height will just feel a little bit more secure. But the higher height will give you a better reverse of flow in the legs. Okay, and then you're going to pop your bolster on top of that. Okay. Now, and then what you can have on top of that then is another blanket. So just drape a blanket on top of that as well. Okay, so just give it a little press down and make sure it feels kind of nice and secure there. And then we're going to bring our hips up kind of reasonably close to it so that you can gently make sure that you're coming down exactly where you need to, so that you're not moving your props around too much. So that looks about right for me. And I'm going to try and kind of place my leg over the brick area, so kind of hip distance apart, and then the other leg on the other. And just, don't worry if it does wobble a little bit. You don't have far to fall, and just remake your prop there. Okay, and then again gently bringing yourself down to the ground on the forearms and the back there. Okay, and just maybe rotating your hips forward and back a little bit. Squeeze the hips up and place them down until you find a really comfortable position for the hips there. In fact, if your mat is a little bit too hard on your hips, you can take one of your blankets and pop them underneath the back of your hips there. It's just they're getting a little bit more pressure because we have the weight of our legs or from our knees down. That's kind of pouring into the back of the hips there. Okay, so trust your props there now when you've found a comfortable position. Make sure that it does feel stable. And then just let your legs completely and utterly relax. And see, can you even feel, I can kind of feel a little tingling sensation of, this reversal of blood flow going on in the legs there. So we're helping them out. They've worked hard for us through our practice, and we're giving a little bit back. Now check in with your legs again, make sure that you're not holding them up, that they are completely being supported by your Stonehenge arrangement of props there. And another version of this that maybe you can try yourself, or if you're replaying this, you can give it a go, is that you get your belt, your yoga belt, and you wrap it around your thighs there, and have them hip distance apart and secure it. And what that does is it takes an extra little bit of holding out of the legs, because They're not making any effort to hold themselves hip distance apart. So let's do a little scan through the legs and just make sure that they are completely and utterly relaxed, melting into the support of the bolster and the blankets and the bricks there. So we're going to scan up and down the right leg, and then we'll scan up and down the left leg. So we'll start with the right side. So can you relax and soften? The big toe mound, the little toe mound, the center at the back of the heel. The whole ankle. The front of the calf, the back of the calf. The front of the knee, the back of the knee. The front of the thigh, the back of the thigh. And the ball and socket that big thigh bone, the femur, is sitting in. The whole right leg is softening and relaxing, and all the muscles have let go. And we'll move over to the left leg now. So the big toe mound, the little toe mound, the center of the back of the heel, the ankle, front of the calf, the back of the calf, front of the knee, back of the knee, front thigh, back thigh, the ball and socket of the left leg, that big femur bone just drifting into the support of the socket. Both legs completely and utterly supported. All the muscles are relaxing so that the blood flow can work to reverse all the activity that went on in the legs. Remembering to make sure you stay warm. So if you're finding your upper body is getting cold, pop a blanket on top of your chest and your arms. Sometimes just keeping the chest warm is the key to keeping the whole body warm. Now getting ready to gently come out of this pose. So just lift yourself up onto your forearms and then onto your hands. And then very carefully take your right leg off and lift your left leg off. Take your blanket off the bolster there. And you see it's still holding itself up, so it's nice and secure. And then we're going to pop the bolster off. Take your bricks out to the side. And then we're going to leave the bolster down there at the end of our mat. So we're going to take our Shavasana today with a lovely bit of care and attention for the legs. So I have the bolster underneath the knees there, and then we're going to put blankets over the legs as well. So maybe just a fourfold over the legs there. Really cozy them up on the bolster there. Okay, and I'm going to put another blanket across my chest. I'm coming down all the way to the ground. I'm going to pop a blanket across my chest there and my arms. And almost like your blankets are in a T shape, and really continue your relaxation through the legs. And now we're going to completely add the whole upper body into it as we make our way into Shavasana. Okay, so feel the support of the bolster underneath you. But at the same time, the legs are a little bit closer to the ground. So a bit more subtlety Maybe not quite as much of activity in the circulation of the reverse of the blood flow. So can you bring your full attention to your breath? Smooth as velvet, inhaling and exhaling. And it's looking after itself, okay? So not changing the breath in any way at all. Gently bringing a little bit of movement into your fingertips and your toes. And when you're ready, rolling over to your right hand side, maybe taking a few seconds curled up in a little ball. And take a deep breath here. And gratitude to yourself for coming up to your practice. And gratitude to the practice. And when you're ready, press your left hand into the ground, gently bring yourself up to a comfortable seat position, hands in prayer position at your heart. Thumbs to your third eye, to your lips, to your heart center, and namaste. And thank you for practicing with me.